Hello, and welcome to Divine Destiny with Debbie. I'm going to be reading for March 30th through April 5th. I am an intuitive channeler. I open myself to God, to Jesus. I ask Holy Spirit, I ask what needs to be said and let it come through. So I have learned that I don't have to always understand it, though I will try to. I do like to try. Anyway, remember, these are general readings. They may or may not resonate. Take what you like, leave the rest. And I want to thank Tiffany. Tiffany, thank you so much for your gift. I really appreciate it. I know I haven't been answering a lot of my comments, but I have been reading them. So I do need to sit down and let you all know that I've been reading them. So thank you to everyone who has been commenting. And again, thank you, Tiffany. Anyway, I'm going to keep it simple. We're just going to be using my Radley Valentine decks for the main reading, which this is the overview. And this one is, I always have to look, the Angel Tarot, the Angel Wisdom Tarot. This is the Fairy Tarot. We also have the Archangel Sword of Light. Now this one is not Radley Valentine's deck. This is the Angel Gemstone Oracle cards, Margaret Ann Lembo and Victoria Rose Martin. So if you ever want to know what cards I'm reading, you can go and just look, at the beginning, the main video. Okay, so let's go in here and see what we've got to see. What is going on? We do have that that new moon on the 29th. So we do have that coming. We talked about that. Also, too, on the 30th, we do have that changeover from Neptune in Pisces to Neptune in Aries. So Neptune stays in a sign for about 12 to 14 years. And I did talk about this on the last video, the last main video. So I would look at that again. I would look at that. This comes from the-astrologer.net. This tells us about what's going on the 30th. We talked about this, Neptune entering Aries and the conjunction of Mercury, and that Mercury is retrograding back into Pisces. This is very interesting times that we're going to be living in here. Again, I talked about that in the last video. Goodbye to the past forever. Mercury is in Pisces going into April. Venus in Pisces. Saturn is still in Pisces, though that will change over in May, but we're not there yet. And Mars is in Cancer. So there's a lot of water energy going on right now. We do have on the 5th, we'll jump to the 5th because not a lot is going on as in the changes. So things are just staying there. Neptune will be in Aries. We have, all of this retroing going on. So they are moving a little bit, but not anything that's going to kind of like knock our socks off, though that Neptune could knock our socks off. Anyway, April 5th, we have Cancer. We have Mars, which is in Cancer, making Cancers very, very strong and very strongly opinioned, and they will do what they need to do to protect their home and hearth and home. Anyway, we have Mars in Cancer, trining with Saturn in Pisces, and Saturn is about the rules, the rule keeper. Saturn is also about karmic energies too. And remember, we do have Mercury retrograde, and that is, once it's retrograde, there is a lot of upheaval in our communications, in our our internet systems, our electronics, things like that. But whenever Mercury, remember, when they go retrograde, they're trying to kind of like dig up the dirt, dig up what needs to be done, dig up the foundations, and then get ready to reestablish things too. So we have Cancer trining with Saturn in Pisces. We have Mars again sextiling. Sextiling is a looser connection, but it still is a connection. Uranus, which is in Taurus, and they're all at this 25-degree mark. It is on the 5th. Now the 5th is, if we're going to go with, and again, the 5 of the 25, 2 is choices, decisions, crossroads, coming together, partnering. 5s are all about change. So we do have this 5th of April. If we go back to the 5th, the 5 in our tarot cards, it goes back to that Hierophant, which is all about choices. So I kind of look at it as choices in what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be following. The five of in the major arcana, the Hierophant is always to me. Now, some other people think it's a wonderful card, and I don't think it's a bad card, but it is about the business aspect of government. You want to say government, religion, whatever is it's bureaucracy, okay? It's just totally, it's rules, regulations, following the rules and regulations. But you always have a choice with the Hierophant. Do you stay in that kind of, I don't know, is that the Matrix that we're talking about? Or do you break free? So all of this type of energy is going to be very, very interesting. The nice thing I like about the 2 and the 5, it becomes a 7. You add it together. And 7 is divine energy, divine covering, divine protection. So we've got some interesting stuff. He says goodbye to the past forever. As we are in April, or we are in Aries. Aries is the beginning of the new astrological year. So interesting stuff. There's going to be a lot of things that that's just kind of like we're not even going to be able to explain it. Venus does like being in Pisces, so that will actually be that will actually be good. So there will be some kindness with that. So let's see what we've got here. I am now going to horoscope.astro-seek.com. This is their monthly astro calendar, and where this is going back into March. This is also New York time. We do have, again, Neptune enters Aries, and that is at 8:01 a.m. Eastern time, so kind of figure that out with that. I did talk about this conjunction in the last video. Let's go on now to April, see if there's anything big happening for April. On the 2nd, now this may be actually a good day, because like I told you, Venus does like being in Pisces. It is a comfortable, loving, worshiping, giving you all these warm feels. Okay, it is conjuncting with the nodes. So the node, remember the North Node is in Pisces, and that's trying to, make, mysterious energies again, North Node in Pisces, and the South Node. So the North Node is going into the future. South Node is cleaning up the past. There is some Virgo energy for that South Node, but it's conjuncting. It is joining them. It is joining this this connection. It is working with each other. So Venus, and even though Venus can be rather, I don't know, remember, goddess of love, beauty. She can be a little bit high strung at the same time. I do feel that on the 2nd, this could be a very loving, very caring energy for her, coming from her with this conjunction. So not a whole lot of things that we can see as like, oh, this is changing and that's not changing and such like that. But there is, again, that that Neptune going into Aries. There is an extremely powerful energy change with that. Again, if you want to know more, because I read that article about all of these, the planets where they're at. So now the big thing will be when we go 7/7, of course, but there will be some protection because of that date in itself. So let's see. And if you don't know, if I'm jumping around and you're like, what is she talking about? Go to the, what would it have been? The 22nd to the 29th of March. Go to that reading, the overview. Okay. And you know that once I give my readings, I never know what, they go out of my head. Okay, card has flown out. Let me go and drop down and get it. Oh my gosh, here we are. Huh. I need to do some stretching. The 4 of water, wait and see. We are in a wait and see moment. Remember, this is more for universal energy and world energy. It's kind of a wait and see, not necessarily happy with the past, but a little bit afraid to go to the future. We've got another card that has popped out. Fell on my lap, so let's go on one more time. 4 is stability, organization, and leadership. Water is Cancer, Pisces. Cancer and Pisces both are big players right now. And it's also Scorpio. So let's see what else we have. And remember, I think I said Lilith was conjuncting with Scorpio. Not a big, I don't know a whole lot about Lilith, but Scorpio does have a little play in this. So we do have, again, and remember too, whatever is going on in the world, good, bad, indifferent, we need to remember that we have to live our lives, okay? And fear is one of the tools of the devil, and tries to keep us from our blessings. So remember, and I said this before, the Bible has, whether or not this is I'm just going to say, this is a fact. The Bible has fear not, do not fear 365 times. And we have 365 days. Now, what happens on leap year? We just have to remember. Okay, so let's go on. So we have the 4 of water, and there's fruit on the trees. I do like that. Oranges, pears, I'm not sure what, but there are apricots. There's fruit on the trees. There is an angel behind the tree, so not necessarily seen by this person. This person, the fruit is falling, so we'll have to kind of take that for what it is. He's looking at his cups. He's got these 3 cups. He's sitting there in repose, but yet his face, he's just not necessarily happy. So this is kind of a moment of discontent. This is a kind of that fallow period where you're being prepared for something. If you've been following me, you know that my mother was highly psychic. And whenever I'd ask her to read for me, and my question was, well, was I going to have a date for Friday, or was I going to go to the prom? She'd say, you're in a fallow period. It's very hard to read for you right now because you're in a preparation time. Whenever I see the 4 of water, it tells me that there is a preparation going on here. Now, this is connected with Archangel Chamuel, and this is also connected with the major arcana 12, which is the hanged man, or looking at things in a different way. So part of this is, recognizing your blessings as opposed to looking at, recognizing what you have as opposed to what you don't have. So failing to recognize a magical opportunity, missing the point, the distractions of daily life, discontentment or boredom, lost in your own world. Wake up. Time for the world to wake up. Interesting with that. Now let's see what we've got. This card, this is another card that fell out. And we have it reversed, which means it has a very strong energy besides them falling out. Connected with Metatron. Metatron, believed to have been Enoch before the flood, talked with God, knows what the human condition is about, was brought up into the heavens, never to face death. That is the story of Enoch, and changed into Metatron. Now, a lot of people feel that Metatron there's a lot of story out there, myth out there, interpretation out there, and it could be because of the Book of Enoch, I'm not sure, or other books that are apocryphal, that say that Metatron became basically like the king of the archangels, or of the angels. We have a 0 energy. 0 is God source energy. We have the dreamer. The dreamer is a leap of faith, leaving an old dimension, leaving another world, leaving the past behind, kind of going along with this 4. Leave the past behind, go on, there's more coming. There's a door to another dimension, possibly even, going into this dimension, looking up and like, wow, where am I? There is a key. I'm not sure what's in the other hand. There's the dog. There is time. Metatron is also connected with time, space, dimension, maybe. That kind of reminds me of one of the Reiki symbols, Hanshanze Shonan, transcend time, space, dimension. This is a new start. Trust yourself, push your fears aside, and take a leap of faith. So there is a big change coming up. This says wake up. Kind of leave that sleep dimension, maybe maybe even though we feel that we're awake, maybe it's time to shake us out of, whatever that is that we're in, and take that leap of faith and, something different. We will see. Now this is one I drew. We have the Knight of Earth. Now I do like the Knight of Earth. because the Knight of Earth is a planner. The Knight of Earth is looking at a lot of things. Now, Knight's underlying energy has a fire energy. So it's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, passionate, burning, very determined. So there is that passion burning within you, the Knight. Knights are directional. Once they figure out which way they're going to go, they're going to go that way. This has an overlying energy of Earth, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Now remember I said Uranus and Taurus was doing some stuff, was sextiling with some of the planets. What is it? The Mars and Saturn, I think it was, sextiling. So there could be some grounding energy with that. But remember, Uranus is also expect the unexpected. But it's also money, job, career, could be even with your home. What I love about the Knight of Earth is that he's a planner. He's going to look at what he needs to do. He's going to make a list. He's going to, not maybe he's going to check it twice. I don't know. But he's going to really look to see what is it that he wants to accomplish and how does he want to get there. So there is some, wake up, take a leap of faith. It's a new start. Push fears aside and make a plan and then get moving. Loyal, dedicated, protective, apprehensive. Plan carefully before taking action, but then get going. Pay attention to the details. Wait for the perfect timing. A guardian angel or someone who watches over you. So the other thing about the Knight is you are being watched over. You are being taken care of. Now, it's interesting because we do have minor arcana, major arcana, and we do have the court cards also. So we have a representation of all of the cards in the tarot. So let's see what we have. Let's go on. I like my little fairy. They're just whimsical. They're happy. I love them. And I do and the artist, I can't, who was the artist? Who's the illustrator? Do we have the illustrator on this? Howard David Johnson, illustration by. So very happy cards to me. So let's see, higher power, Holy Spirit, what do we want to say for what's going to happen during this 30th to the 5th? Princess of Summer. So the princess in this deck is your page, okay? And the page's underlying energy is Earth, which we talked about. Now, Summer in this deck actually is the water energy, which we've also talked about. So we do have that grounding energy, that new beginning, new start energy of that page, and now also pages are messengers too. So we could be getting getting a message, but we have that water, very fluid, emotional, very spiritual, caring energy too. So something's about to start. Something's about to be moving. Something's about to happen, okay? And the princess is very excited about these changes. No, she doesn't necessarily look too excited, but she does look very glamorous or very glimmering in her finery there. The Princess of Summer is gentle, sensitive, kind, a little inexperienced. So kind of where we're going with this is kind of unknown. It's unknown territory in many ways. A new relationship or emotional experience, invitations to social events, a compassionate friend you can share your concerns with. Sometimes this is the start of something very big, the start of something very caring, the start of something new, okay? So we've got some interesting energies with this. It's the start of something new. I'll go with that one. How about you? Okay. Again, I want to thank everybody for commenting. I will sit down. I've been reading them. I really have. And I've been like, I just haven't been able to put my little heart and give you a reply. So thank you all. Anyway, and especially you, Tiffany. Anyway, do me a favor. Please comment again. Please let me know what you're thinking. And also do that stuff that's here because it does keep me coming back. And I so appreciate you all doing that. Now, as always, though, I always end it this way, but it's so, so true. Always know that you are loved. Stay shining and be blessed. Thanks for joining.